Matrixx Hour podcast is loading. Kick back, relax, and get ready to enter the Matrix with John Matrixx.
This is the Matrixx Hour with John Matrixx. Pop culture, news, and reviews. Buckle up for the ride. Here is John Matrixx.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back together here with another video, and we're going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite actors, Anthony Hopkins. Now, you know that I'm a big fan of his Hannibal Lecter. He is a tremendous actor. Anthony Hopkins is an all-time great to me, and he has some not so good words to actually say about the Thor movies, the Marvel movies in general that he was in. He actually was in the first two Thor movies, and they killed him off in the second Thor movie, and he wasn't in the last two. Did you actually see the first Thor movie, or do you remember it?
Yeah, I think so.
You do? Okay. Well, Anthony Hopkins, and I believe he's a true actor. Mm-hmm. Now, in these movies, there's a lot of green screen, and he has come out and he's very, very, very critical of these Marvel movies. You can see here, Anthony Hopkins thinks acting in Marvel films is pointless. I found that to be interesting right there. Now, of course, he was already an old man when he played Odin in the Thor movies. Probably, definitely different, you know, considering that he played Hannibal, he played Zorro. He was in a whole bunch of very, very good movies. Not a fan of it. So this is what he actually had to say about the Marvel movies. So right here, he actually said this quote: "They put me in armor. They shoved the beard on me. Sit on the throne, shout a bit," he told the New Yorker. "If you're sitting in front of a green screen, it's pointless acting in it." He's old school. Now, this whole green screen thing, I believe it actually really kind of started with George Lucas for the prequels. Some actors, even like Ewan McGregor, when he said making the prequels, it's kind of like, you know, it's just, you just stand around, hard to interact with everything. Nowadays, the studios are using like what they call the volume, where you actually see the background around you. So it's definitely probably easier to act. But Anthony Hopkins seems like he's definitely old school. And I think that Marvel, the main actors in these movies, they're not movie stars outside of probably Robert Downey Jr. Because what are the other actors outside of Robert Downey Jr. known for? Pretty much Marvel movies. That's it. Outside of that, to me, they're not really that successful. So he's critical of it. Now, the last two movies he wasn't in, which is Thor Ragnarok and Love and Thunder. My goodness. Remember we watched that movie like a few months back, I believe?
Yeah.
What did you think of that movie?
I think it's really silly.
I think it was just god-awful. That movie was terrible. And really what they've done with Thor since Endgame, he ain't Thor anymore. He's just, I hated Fat Thor in Endgame. And I really hated what they did with him in the last Thor movie. I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't waste my money in the movie theater. Taika Waititi is terrible at these movies. The humor is just silly. It's crazy. I don't like it. And it leads me to the next point here. Look at this. Even Chris Hemsworth, who is the star in the movie, who is actually Thor, he comes out and he slams Thor Love and Thunder. He knows that it was bad. Chris Hemsworth admits Thor 4 was too silly.
Yes, it is.
I don't like the humor in the movies.
No, I don't either. It's more like
More like what?
A kids movie, I guess.
It is very, very childish.
Yeah.
But by the way, look at this here. I'm glad you brought that up. This is what he said here. Quote, I think we just had too much fun. It just became too silly. It's always hard being in the center of it and having any real perspective. I love the process. It's always a ride. But you just don't know how people are going to respond. Then, look at this. Hemsworth said his biggest critics were his son's friends, who are kids. Mm-hmm. Quote, it's a bunch of 8-year-olds critiquing my film. We thought this one had too much humor. The action was cool, but the VFX, the visual effects, weren't as good. He said, quote, I cringe and laugh equally at it. Coming out and trashing his own movie.
Well, I agree with him that there's humor, but I don't feel like it's humor.
It was bad humor.
I wasn't laughing. But I mean, compare like that movie to his the first one where, you know.
I like the first one way better than the other ones.
I do like the first one where he was like reckless, you know, compared to his father, like played by Anthony Hopkins. Yeah. I thought it would be more like, you know, like when Anthony Hopkins died, he'd be more mature and like, you know, take over the throne instead of passing it to
Loki. No. It was like Valkyrie. Yeah, that Valkyrie. Was awful.
I mean, I just.
But that was typical Disney right there. Make the male weak and make the woman more powerful.
Yeah, but I don't understand why. You know, I thought he will take over.
It's a female agenda.
Yeah, but
Valkyrie had no right to the throne.
No, but I thought it will be like he would take over the throne and be more mature like his father, you know.
But he pretty much became a quitter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like Star Wars, you know, Luke quitting in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It was pretty much that way in Avengers Endgame when he just became a whiny little bitch. I hated that. And Avengers Endgame, man, it's really, that movie is not that good anymore to me. Infinity War was like really, really good. Endgame came around, I was like, wait, Fat Thor, he's quitting. Valkyrie is the king. Even in the last Thor movie, Valkyrie is the king, not the queen, but the king. Mm-hmm. Because it's an agenda. And a very, very bad agenda right there. A lot of people don't like that. This Taika Waititi humor. I mean, his Thor movies are completely different from the first two.
Yeah, the first two is good.
Yeah. I don't think you really kind of spread your acting chops in these Marvel movies. Just like Anthony Hopkins says, you know, he thought it was a waste of time. Like, for example, the guy that plays the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo. What else is he really known for? What else is he actually doing out there besides Hulk? Of course, he was in that movie, 13 going on 30.
Yeah.
But he's doing nothing outside of these Marvel movies. And I really don't like his Hulk.
No.
These movies, yeah, they make you a name, but they don't really make you a movie star. And Anthony Hopkins is an all-time great actor to me. He is truly a movie star.
Yes. I like him in the Westworld the most.
Yeah, Westworld. I actually got his action figure right over there. Dr. Robert Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like him in Westworld. Of course, they killed him off.
Yeah, which really make me upset on that one.
Yeah, because I was like, Anthony Hopkins, man, you got this guy, all-time great actor, and they killed him off.
Yeah, that was
but in a way,
upset.
But in a way, I was kind of surprised anyway that he actually got into the Marvel movies. it seems like Anthony Hopkins was so much better than a Marvel movie, but he did do it. But also Sylvester Stallone is in Guardians of the Galaxy. He has like small cameo roles. I'm like, Sylvester Stallone, he seems out of place in a Marvel movie to me.
Well, Anthony Hopkins, you know, he can play any role. You know?
Yeah, he's a well-versed actor.
Yeah, and it turns out to be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a Mark Ruffalo, not so much. Now, even when it came to like Guardians of the Galaxy, the guy that plays Star-Lord, what's his name? I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. I didn't know how good he would be outside of Marvel. And I'm not really a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but the Terminal List, wow. He showed me he can act. He spread his acting chops, not on the big screen, on Prime Video, the Terminal List. Chris Pratt, that's who he is. I love that show, and season 2 is coming. I can't wait to see that. So he's showing his acting chops, and he was way better in the Terminal List than he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. For one thing, Terminal List is way better than Guardians of the Galaxy to me. So, yeah. But Anthony Hopkins, man, he has spoken now. Acting in Marvel movies is pointless. And Chris Hemsworth, yeah, he's like, Thor: Love and Thunder is awful. So.
Yeah, I think, you know, if, don't you think it'd be better if, like, you know, Thor didn't, like, give up his throne?
Yeah,
would it be better?
It would have been better, but the reason he did it is because Disney has an agenda. That's the reason why. So, but I think that's all we got, guys. We will be back on Friday, right, with another video for you guys. Until then, guys, be safe.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Matrixx Hour with John Matrixx. Join us next time for pop culture, news, and reviews.